Me again. I'm going to go over the review for Module 6 in case you needed it. Let me show you what your review page looks like. If you have it in front of you, great. Here we go. Oops, move myself down a little bit out of the way, maybe. Maybe. All right, there was a little bit of vocabulary. For the fraction 2/5, an example of this is 4/10. So if I look at 2/5 and 4/10, those would be equivalent fractions. They are equal. For the fraction 3/8, the number 8 represents this. That would be the equal parts of the whole. And for the fraction 1/6 and 2/3, an example of this is 18. That would be a common denominator. All right, that's a little bit of vocabulary reminder. Select all the numbers that can be used as a common denominator to write equivalent fractions for 1/2 and 5/6. Name the strategy or tool you will use to solve the problem. Explain your choice and then find the answer. So I would list multiples because then I can see all, since I have to select all, that tells me there's going to be more than one. And if I list my multiples of 2 and 6, I'm going to go all the way to 18 or farther so that I can see all of them. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I'll stop there. 6, 12, 18. That was easy. Which ones do they share? They share a 6. They share a 12. And they do share that 18. There they are. All right. Writing equivalent fractions with common denominators. When I see denominators of 10 and 5, I know I don't need to adjust that 1/10 because 10 is a multiple of 5. I'm going to adjust and rename those fifths. If I have 2/5, 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4. 1/3 and 2/5. I can't, one of them is not a multiple of the other. I'm going to use that strategy. I'm going to multiply and find the product. So I know that 15 will be a common denominator for 3 and 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6. All right. 4 and 6, I could also do multiplying that product. I think I'm going to see some multiples here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 6, 12. There we go. That's a little bit of a lower multiple than it would have been with multiplying my denominators. So now I have 4 times 3 is 12. A little fuzzy, isn't it? That's better. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4. There are, my multiples are a little bit in the way, but there are the answers there. 3 and 9 for my denominators. 9 is a multiple of 3. I'm going to leave 5/9 the way it is. I'm going to rename and find the equivalent. 2/3 is how many ninths? 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. That's it for common denominators and equivalent fractions. Let's see. Here our situation says Michaela decorates a cake when she, oh, that was a period. Michaela decorates a cake. When she starts, 5/6 of the tube has decorative icing. She uses 3/4 of the tube to decorate the cake. What fraction of the tube is left? So she had the whole tube at one point. There's 1. She uses, I'm sorry, it has now 5/6. So I'm going to split this into 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And she has 5/6 of it in that tube that she's going to use to decorate. She has this part of it. And she uses 3/4. So 3/4. If I split this into fourths, let's see. how could I do that? I wanted to kind of match, don't I? If I did, excuse me, 1, 2, she has, this is what she's using of it. So it looks like this portion right here is what she'll have left. So that model helps a little bit. I could get the fraction tiles and make it a little better. You know, my drawings, when we do this, we say we do our best. It's not going to be perfect because we're free drawing it. But if I'm comparing 5/6 and she's using 3/4, I would have to determine, I need to make these equal pieces. So 6, 12, 18, 4, 8, 12. I'm going to stop right there because I know that these have a shared or common denominator of 12. 6 times 2, 5 times 2, 4 times 3, 3 times 3. Well, that's not a terrible drawing because this was a tiny little piece left, and we would have 10 twelfths minus 9 twelfths. So she would have 1/12 left, and that would be our final answer. So my drawing wasn't that terrible, right? All right. Amy eats 1/3 of a small pizza at a restaurant and takes the rest home. The next day, Amy eats 1/4 of the pizza for lunch. What fraction of the pizza has Amy eaten? So here's the pizza, the whole thing. She eats 1/3 of it. So I'm going to show here. Oh, I should be dotting that, shouldn't I? I think I'm using an erasable tool. So she eats 1/3. This is what she's eating. She's taking the rest home. The next day, she eats 1/4 of the pizza. Well, that creates a little bit of a problem with my drawing here because I need to add 1/4. So I have to figure out, well, how do I add 1/4 to 1/3? That's what we're working with. Well, I have to split it into 12ths. So how many 12ths? I would need 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she eats 1/4. How many 12ths is that? 1, 2, 3. So really she's eating that much more. So we adjusted this to 12ths. I showed 4 12ths and 3 12ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 12ths. Again, fraction tiles will be available to help you so that your models, if you need them, will look a little bit better. Mine aren't terrible, but they're not great. So they're working for me right now. So last one. Declan has a 1/2 pound of turkey. He eats 1/3 of a pound for lunch. Which fraction strips represent the amount of turkey he has left? So if we want to know what's left, we're going to compare 1/2 with 1/3. So I'm imagining here's the whole pound of turkey. He has half of it and he eats 1/3. So if we're comparing, remember, we are going to show a comparison below that. So I need this portion 1/3. So I can't line them up together. That shows me that I'm adding those two parts together. Here I have one below the other, so I can compare, and this would show how much he has left. So this one looks similar to what I drew. And again, here we're putting these together. You can see this question mark box. This question mark box, these two are together, and it's just asking what is that one part. So these with the fraction strips lined up next to each other don't make sense for finding out how much is left. B is the only choice there that works for this situation. Okay, that is it for the review. Again, our test is tomorrow. So please come with your questions, or if you need to have anything re-explained or you want to talk about anything, tomorrow's the time before we start that test. All right. Thank you. See you later.